History is obsessed with war. Every ancient civilization leaves it behind. Broken weapons, burned walls, mass graves filled with bones. Violence always leaves fingerprints. But high in the Andes Mountains, there's a stone city that breaks every rule. Machu Picchu. No battle scars, no defensive ruins, no weapon caches buried in the soil. Even stranger, no graveyards. Thousands of people lived here, worked here, climbed these terraces every day. Yet almost no one died here. That's not peace. That's impossible. Ancient cities don't erase death. They display it, they bury it, they remember it. Machu Picchu does none of that. It's as if death was never allowed inside. So this isn't just a missing war story. It's missing evidence altogether, which forces a dangerous question. Was Machu Picchu designed to be peaceful, or designed so violence and death could never reach it at all? According to mainstream history, Machu Picchu was built in the mid-1400s during the height of the Inca Empire. It's described as a royal estate, a sacred retreat for the emperor, a quiet place away from war and politics. On paper, that explanation sounds complete. But archaeology doesn't work on stories, it works on evidence. Royal cities leave symbols of power, throne rooms, elite tombs, clear hierarchies and burial sites. Machu Picchu has none of those, no confirmed royal grave. No monument saying who ruled here, no written record explaining why it existed. Even more troubling, archaeologists expected cemeteries. They didn't find them. Before we go further, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, because no one else gives you research-driven history analysis like this. Now here's the problem historians avoid. If this was a royal city, where are the royal dead? And if it wasn't, why does the official story still insist it was? Every functioning city produces death, not from violence but from being human. Illness, accidents, childbirth, old age. Death leaves bodies. Bodies leave patterns. Ancient cultures buried their dead nearby. They marked graves. They honored ancestors. Machu Picchu does none of this. Excavations found very few skeletons, far fewer than expected for a city this size. And many weren't buried normally. Some were incomplete, some appeared relocated, some weren't local. That creates a problem. Either people did not die here or the dead were removed. Both are disturbing. Cities don't export their dead, especially in the ancient world, unless death itself was not allowed here. And if death was controlled, life was controlled too. Which means Machu Picchu was never a normal city. It was a place with rules we no longer understand. The Inca Empire was not peaceful. It expanded fast, it conquered neighbors, it absorbed resistance by force. War was normal, preparation was mandatory. Inca cities usually show it clearly. Fortified walls, guard posts, weapon storage areas. But Machu Picchu shows none of that. No defensive perimeter, no choke points, no watchtowers designed for combat. Even worse, its location is militarily weak. A narrow mountain ridge, steep cliffs that trap movement, limited escape routes. Any invading force would have turned this place into a slaughter. Yet the builders didn't seem worried. They planned water flow. Astronomical alignments, ceremonial pathways, but not protection. That only makes sense if violence was never expected here. Not because enemies were kind, but because enemies were never meant to arrive. Which raises a chilling idea. Machu Picchu wasn't hidden from enemies. It was hidden from history itself. Archaeology reveals something uncomfortable. The people at Machu Picchu were not a normal cross-section of society. Skeleton analysis shows many were young adults, physically capable, free from signs of long-term illness. Very few children, very few elderly. That's not how cities work. Isotope studies add another layer. Many individuals did not grow up locally. They came from different regions of the empire. Brought here deliberately. Selected. This wasn't a community that formed naturally. It was assembled, more like staff than citizens. Caretakers, specialists, people with roles. But roles for what? They weren't guarding anything. They weren't farming for survival. They weren't raising families, which suggests their presence was temporary. You don't bring chosen people to live in a place forever. You bring them to maintain something important enough to control who was allowed near it. History says Machu Picchu was abandoned, but abandoned places look messy. People leave in panic, they drop tools, they leave food, they leave damage. Machu Picchu shows none of that. Buildings are orderly, stonework is intact, water systems were left functional. There's no sign of emergency flight, no half-built structures, no destruction layers. This doesn't look like abandonment. It looks like a planned exit. as if everyone knew when to leave and in what order, almost like a protocol, which is strange because cities don't have shutdown procedures. Facilities do, when something's purpose ends, when access is no longer required. Machu Picchu feels less like a lost city and more like a closed site, locked away, not destroyed, not conquered, just switched off. Here's the most frustrating fact about Machu Picchu. The Inca didn't leave written records. No inscriptions, no documents, no calendars explaining why this city existed. Everything we know is guesswork. Historians rely on artifacts and architecture, but artifacts can mislead. Buildings can suggest function, but never intent. Temples here aren't clearly dedicated to a god. Terraces don't explain daily life. Stonework is precise, but for what reason? We don't know who lived here. We don't know who ruled. We don't know why it was built. And the official story, it fills gaps with assumptions, a royal retreat, a religious sanctuary. Those labels are comforting, but they ignore the absence of evidence. Machu Picchu is silent, and silence in history is more dangerous than any weapon. It forces a question we cannot easily answer. What was this place really for? Look at the environment. Steep mountains, thin air, freezing nights, landslides waiting silently. Not ideal for families, not ideal for the elderly, not ideal for long-term survival. Yet the construction is extreme, massive terraces, intricate water channels, stone cut with precision that would challenge modern engineers. Would an empire really invest this much effort for casual retreats? Or was this place meant for something temporary? A city designed to function perfectly, for a select few for a limited time. People came, worked, performed their roles, and left without leaving traces. No permanent life, no generational continuity. No ordinary population. Machu Picchu wasn't a city. It was a controlled zone, a living experiment, or a ritual space. A place you visit, but never truly live in. Instead of asking, why was Machu Picchu abandoned? We should ask something much stranger. Was it ever meant to be occupied at all? No evidence of war, almost no graves, no markets, no family homes, no long-term population signs. It wasn't a city like we know cities. It was controlled, curated, temporary, perhaps ceremonial, perhaps astronomical, perhaps initiatory, or perhaps its true purpose is something we can no longer recognize. The silence of this place is intentional. Every missing detail forces us to rethink what a city really is. And every missing skeleton makes us wonder how much history we've been taught to accept blindly. Machu Picchu is more than a lost city. It's a living puzzle, and the pieces may never fully align. Machu Picchu looks peaceful, but peace here wasn't natural. No war, no graves, no long-term residents. Every detail was controlled, every stone placed deliberately, every visitor selected. Death and conflict were excluded. Life was regulated. This wasn't a city. It was a zone, a place built to function for a purpose we may never understand. Historians gave it a name, called it a royal estate, called it sacred. But those are just guesses. The real question remains, if Machu Picchu wasn't a city, then what was it truly built for? And more importantly, who was allowed to see it and who was meant to disappear without a trace? The mountain still keeps its secret, and maybe it always will.